married sitting at the left side, and the singles, Pringles, in the left side of the auditorium. In some places, it was that obvious, but it has not become. It's not become a big issue for some singles. Now, I saw one post and the lady said, "Oh, thank God this year, 2023, I got a job. I started the year single, jobless, but I'm ending the year with a job, but still single." It's not become a huge problem. Now, so much so that articles have been written, studies have been done, and I mean serious studies, not just let's go ask 10 people. I'm talking about sample sizes as much as 1,000 or even 100,000. Now, in the US, right, it was discovered that there is some discrimination against single people. Some discrimination. Now, the Cambridge English Dictionary recently added a new word, singlism. Yeah, singlism. Singlism. Singlism, right? Which is defined as the unfair treatment of people who are single. Now, this level of singleness, right, has two stages. One, there are those who are single as Pringles. That means they're not dating anybody. Nobody's dating them. They're on their own. They don't have boyfriend. They don't have girlfriend. They don't have man friend. They don't have woman friend. They're just single to the letter I. Only them. 9 days this word. Single. And then you have the singles who are dating but are not married. Now, both stages, interestingly, are being discriminated against by certain groups, by society in the US, in France, in Germany, and even in the UK. Studies were drawn to show that there are some places that they go to that they were frowned against. You're single, really? Not more so than here in Nigeria, where this December that just passed 24 hours ago, where there in a Facebook group I stumbled across, where the guys who were single were joking, hey, this year not rich, which excuse I go give my mama if I no get babe, if I no marry by next year. Whilst it all, no, people were being all comical about it, trying to be funny, trying to take things easy, nothing being too dramatic and all of that. There's a real issue here that single people are actually being discriminated against. Now, my question is, do you think this society, the Nigerian society, is harsh towards single people? Ladies and gentlemen, this is an excerpt from a movie about 2 decades ago, Nollywood Hits, right? Take a listen to this.
You have 1 month from today to show us who you are going to marry. You must produce a girl that you will marry. If you do not get married in the next 1 month, you are what we are going to punish you. Yes, I want family with his own.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, the only place where talk is not cheap.
Now, your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to call us and have a conversation with us this Monday morning. Numbers to call 017-923-0003, 0817923-0007. Turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
An analysis by Lisa Arnold and Christiana Campbell published in The Atlantic found that over a single person's lifetime, they pay far more than married people for equivalent health care, taxes, housing, and other expenditure. These disparities are due in part to policies that implicitly and at times and sometimes explicitly benefit the married over the unmarried. Where do you think Nigeria is at right now? If you're a single person, do you feel sometimes disenfranchised? Do you feel people look down on you. This is not the arena for small boys. This is the area for big boys. The big boys are big boys because they are married. A 28-year-old is described as a big boy because he is married. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. 92.3. Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt. Welcome, please.
Thank you for this discourse, Jude, Mr. Zion from Port Harcourt.
Good morning, Mr. Zion.
Indeed, marriage was seen as a sacred sanctuary as Africans. It's a place where they see you to be matured. You should be involved in certain decision making in the community and the society. And it's a place where they see unity among communities. That was when, if you are not married, you have nothing to do with sex. But today, look how reprobate we become. 13 years, 14 years, all are collecting one mouth, no conscience. Look at the level of abortion, no conscience. So what do you expect such people to see marriage like? They will trample it on their foot and say, what is marriage?
Okay, so wait, Zion. Now, let me ask you, right? Do you think, whether the value system has changed or not, but do you think that's justification for what some of the young people are saying is unfair treatment of their person?
It's not unfair. Their parents is only trying to protect their personality. Their parents are only trying to bring them up to speed. Their parents is only trying to initiate them to a level of being responsible, where you will avoid crime, where you will avoid indecency, where you can now come up and take decision with them. But because their children cannot be trusted, before age 20, their daughter has already slept with over 20 different men.
Wait, hold on. You still haven't answered this question. Whether or not they are married, is that a justification for treating single people poorly? The people are saying that in society that they are treating them harshly.
How African society has positioned it. Nobody treats you anyway. It is how we are. What was given to us as marriage. Haven't you seen a situation where you see a girl look so beautiful and big? The next people will look at her finger if there's a wedding ring or not.
Should they even be
Nobody
doing that?
You. That is who we are.
But that's the thing. Should they? Hold on, Zai. Should they be doing that at all? What exactly is it?
I think we should bring it back.
It's already here.
Age of marriage and they are not married, we should restrict you.
Restrict them.
For you. You should not drive a car. You should not go to the market.
Really?
Stay in your house. The market is meant for married people. You
Oh.
should never go to church in the morning. Go to church in the afternoon. If you are not married, see, let me be honest to you. We should never call on radio station if you are not married. Because
Oh my goodness. 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
There are some posts you will make on social media. You will say, thank God not with handwriting. I don't know if you say that.
I've seen that.
So I think you should be ready to pack your things now, because if married people should be the only ones to call, then the only person to also listen or moderate
should be married.
People. That was on a lighter note anyway. Jude, do you know that it's easier in our society here to allow married people into position of trust than a single, very honest person to go into that position? Do you know? Because they will ask you, why do you even think that some of the funds will feel for serious business, they put M or X? You understand?
Yes.
And some advertisements, they will tell you, we only need
Married
people.
Can you imagine?
I don't know if you're... Yes. I want to also remind you that, do you know that people who are married but did not do all this what they call a court whatever, and they want to travel for pilgrimage, they have to go do the court to get that paper to prove
That they are married.
Are you aware?
Interesting.
There's also an hotel in Warri opposite the airport road. I don't know if you know Warri very well.
I know Airport
where
Road.
You cannot go sleep as a single person.
Interesting.
If you're coming with a woman, you have to prove that, look, this woman is your wife, just like they asked Abraham, who is this person to you? Somebody shout hallelujah. I want to also remind you of time past. This is practical, but I want to also draw your mind to that area. Do you know a guy called Dimeji Bankole?
Yes, we do.
A former speaker of House of Rep.
Yes, we
Are
do.
you aware that at the time he ascended the throne to be Speaker of House of Rep? Some women in Abuja protested to the House of Rep and said, look, you cannot be the Speaker of the House.
Because
These women are not speakers or are not members of the House. So
yes,
that because he's not
married,
he cannot manage people.
Can you imagine that?
So oh, Jude, read your paper.
I know Dimeji because Dimeji married my classmate.
Yes. And let me continue with the story. That because he's not married, he cannot control one woman, and he wants to control 360 men. Invariably, what they are telling you that if you can control one woman, you can control 100 men. Can somebody shout hallelujah? So they tend to give you more responsibility as somebody, no matter what your believe that you can do well with a woman, then you are good to go in a position of trust.
JJ, let me ask you.
For me, it's worldwide, so I don't know.
Like I said, the stats I read, there were surveys done in the US, in the UK, in Germany, and in France that proved that young people are under enough pressure to make them sad these days. But let me ask you, you are a Niger man, Niger born bred. Do you really think that pressure is as bad as it is over there here? Very quickly.
No, I think it's the same thing. It's the same thing over there, the same thing over here. They will pressure you. There are times when you go home now as a single guy, your mom will go to fire for you. But you go just look and who follow you come? Maybe when you drive the car and somebody is in the car, maybe your guy, and your mom will run to the car and see that it's the car. The next question you ask, when you want to make a shine, I think I said this World Cup.
Oh my God! Oh, who follow you? Whoa. Okay, all right. Once again, I'm only asking the questions. We have a break coming up, and also we have headline news, and we have comments already on WhatsApp. We'll be getting to read those comments shortly right here on the program. Don't go anywhere. It is the 1st of January 2024, and I'm asking this morning, do you think that this society is harsh towards the single people? Like I said last year, let the single breathe. Let them breathe.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
We'll be right
been coming through on several media platforms. I've seen them on Facebook, I've seen them on Twitter, people talking about how they started the year, how they're ending the year. Once again, those memes you've seen, once again, the year don't end. I never marry, I don't get a boyfriend. I mean, my character and I ain't bad. We joke about these things. But ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people who are being emotionally stressed out because of their single status. They want to rent an apartment, they have to lie that they have a partner or a fiance. They want to get married, all right, and they need people to believe that they've been married for 2-3 years. I was shocked to read that some people even lie that they've been married for 5 years. Meanwhile, they just got married 2.5 minutes ago, all in a bid to appear apparently more responsible or, in quotes, accepted into a fold. Like I said earlier on, you get into society churches, you can clearly see the demarcation between the married women and the single ladies, single Pringles. Funny enough, you don't get to find out that kind of distinction between the men. All right, but anyway, I digress. The point here is society seems to be treating these single people a bit harshly. Is it only in the West, or is it here as well? The last caller said that there are some positions that you wouldn't be given to if you are not married. And he made a very good point that there is no proof to the notion that if you are single, you are corrupt, and if you're married, you will be more responsible. But here we are with that analogy. Interesting.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, the only place where talk is not cheap.
92.3, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello, Jude.
Good morning to you. I have 2 minutes for you. Tell us, is society harsh on the single people?
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you.
Jude, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Have you seen any king without a wife?
There have been a few, yes.
A few?
Yes, there have been a few.
In your
No, not all over the world. Not just in my place. All over the world. There have been a few.
all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I understand that we have been influenced so high by the West.
Mm.
But an African must understand that he or she is an African. Even in my local community village in Ekpe, where I come from, if you are not married and people come to pay dowry on a woman and money is to be shared, if you like, let your age be 70 years old. They will group you with the boys. If you don't share, they give you 10,000 to go and share.
Okay, all right. You know what? Let's go on the break. We have headline news to take, and we'll get to this. This is becoming very interesting. First day of the new year. perceptions. My question is society, the Nigerian society in particular, is it harsh towards the single people? Like I said earlier on, there are two groups. There are the singles who have no baby, no wa baby, no ebube, no kion kion, no cockroaches in their cupboards, no hoo-hoo or ha-has. They have none of those things. And then they have the others who are dating in the period of, or in the process of courtship. You'll probably see them in the next 41 days as they prepare for Valentine's Day and all the other shenanigans that are associated with that day. And then you get to hear the pressuring us on social media. People show how much they love their partners. People buy gifts. People do very beautiful, romantic things. They wake up, present their partners with breakfast in bed. Some people buy great shoes. Some people buy PlayStation 5s. Some people buy themselves cars and present to their partners. I love you. Take this brand new car. And then you will find a Nigerian somewhere and that would say, God, am I a stone? Am I the mosquito disturbing people in my own life? Where exactly is my problem coming from? See me this year, 2024. I must get married. Yesterday night, there were shouts, screams of people who kept saying, this is my year. I will get married this year. I will get a boyfriend this year. This year, new me, new teen, so new boo. Yes, new. But is that a lot of pressure on those who are single, who are living, in quotes, their best life? WhatsApp now, 009-030-6416, 009-030-6416. All right, now Florence says it is people like one of those callers that makes those who are emotionally weak to commit suicide. So unmarried people should not call radio or even show themselves. Did they kill anyone? Such discrimination against married people, it's a pity, Florence says. Interesting. Anonymous says, this year, don't let anyone pepper, panic, or pressure you into the wrong marriage. Being married doesn't mean you are responsible. If you don't have sense when you are single, you will not automatically have sense when you marry. There is no juju in any wedding ring that makes a person good, sensible, or responsible. Some married men commit adultery while wearing their wedding rings and are horrible role models for their unfortunate children. Some married women commit paternity fraud, yet do baby dedication in their religious centers while singing, what the Lord has done for me, I cannot tell it all. That's from Anonymous, by the way. Okay. Hi, Jude. Good morning. Happy New Year. I think that's just how our society is. Even in the company where I work, you are considered responsible and matured if you are married as a male, and for our female colleagues, there is this level of respect we accord them compared to single ladies. I don't think it's harsh. It's just how we are as society, from Dagogo Heart. Now, Dagogo, let me ask you, do you or have you been in that scenario where a job, a contract worth, 10 million naira was not given to you because you don't have a wedding band on? My 2.3, welcome. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Dude, I am back. Robin Mada, the farmer.
Go on. Welcome, Robin.
Let me conclude.
Yes, please.
Like other contributors have adduced the area I'm in. A man who is responsible does not only mean because he is married. It's about our societal acceptance, the way we do things, the way we give responsibility to persons who are married and who are not married. Our culture and tradition from the part of the world I come from provides that there's a certain age a man will get to, a woman will get to. If you are not married, people will ask questions. That is the truth. Not to mean that if you are not up to the age, you must get married. But there's a limit when once you are up to that age and you refuse any means to get married.
Refuse? What if the person? Wait, Rob, what if the person hasn't found a partner, a suitable partner?
suitable partner.
Yeah.
How many days will it take you to have a suitable partner? God create a man and a woman for that.
Oh, man.
All the men, for a woman, all the men around, no one is suitable. For a man, the woman, nobody is suitable. You are waiting to work out. It is wrong. And again, it does not justify the fact that because a man is married, his character is pure.
Ah, okay.
It does not also justify that a woman is married and her character is pure. The women who have ring in their fingers, they are legally married. They are ready to slave. But what about our societal norm, how it should be? So it's optimal that a man that is mature to get married should get married and
Fine.
you have that respect.
No.
Let me tell you, dude, let me shock you.
Yes.
Let me shock you.
Shock me.
Women out there, they look at men who are living with their wives as that are more responsible than those single ones, if you do not know. That is why I advise any man that is married to be very careful. Don't go about asking any woman in hand in any relationship because they will hit on you because you have the capacity to keep your home and you can take care of them. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So I totally understand that narration talking about, a societal norm here in our culture. We've always had that age grade, association. There are certain rites of passage. Almost every culture I have come across and I've read on the African continent has had some form of ritual that will guarantee a passage of to one level. So when you are 13, in some cultures, the boys will do certain things, the girls will do certain things. In South Africa, for example, the Zulu girls, when they get to certain age, the tradition where they only wear their skirts, they do a certain dance, they are topless. When they're talking about their fertility, they're talking about the goodness of the land. Those rights guarantee them passage into the larger community. And we have rites of passage everywhere. And I'm not saying those rights or those traditions or those practices, should be discarded. But the way the young people, or rather the way the unmarried people get treated, is a cause for concern. Because you see, what's interesting in this conversation, if it was just a Nigerian thing or an African thing, you probably say, okay, it's cultural. But no, the West are complaining. You have adults. In fact, let me read the stats for you. Once again, we try to give stats here. Let me read the stats for you. I have the graphic, the graph in front of me. All right, there's a visual graph here in front of me. Now, married people in the US sometimes pay less taxes than they would if they were single. Whether or not they make more money, they get to spend less. Now, you would argue, well, a married man has 2 children, 5 children, so the government is being understanding. But sometimes even when they don't have children, because not every married person has a child at the point of marriage. And in fact, some people who are married have had all their children out of the house, yet they still pay less tax. Another graphic here shows single people can get health insurance or social security benefits through other people the way married people can get through their spouses. In US, 46. So if a single lady needs help through you, if the person is single, 46% of the time the person will not get that help. Can you beat that? Can you beat that? And then let's talk about social gatherings. Come back home. Social gatherings here in Nigeria. Like I said already, there are certain, gatherings you cannot come through if you have not had the rites of passage. And it's totally normal. I don't expect anybody who has not gone through the rites of passage, for example, to come through and say, oh, I want to be a Knight of St. John or St. Stephen or whatever, group you have in your church. Or if you're in a Catholic church, CWO, the Catholic Women Organization. For some, that in its own right is a form of discrimination. It's wait, hold on, please, hold on. It's a touchy conversation, all right? But it is the way some people feel. If a woman is 25, 26, 27, or even 35 and is not married, all right, she's still not allowed to come to be with her peers. I'm not saying they should change it. I'm only telling you what the single people are experiencing. If it's going to lead to a change, well, who knows? I don't know if it's going to be from here. All right, what's up now? Let's get back and read more messages, shall we? 0809-030-6416. Clement says it is a poverty mentality to say that singles shouldn't call on radio. Who should listen to the radio? Married people? Interesting. Escobar says, I want to toe the line of the caller. Zion says, unmarried women especially shouldn't be calling this platform. During the days of our forefathers, the major responsibility of unmarried women was to fetch water from the stream. Escobar says. 9.3. Hello, Posako. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
I'm Nathaniel.
Good morning, Nathaniel. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. I think the marriage has become, unmarriedness has become, or singleness has become a taboo. Is it that if you are not married, you are not allowed to maybe express yourself in a certain way? A greater percentage of people in Nigeria are not married. If you ask me, the number of persons that are not married is single persons. There are more in population than the married ones. So if you remove the population of your man from there, how successful will the married ones be? And you know that most of the jobs being carried out in some companies and other areas stably taken on by the married people. Take a look at the offshore job. I know some married people could be there, but unmarried people will be more comfortable
doing those kind of jobs.
In the offshore for about 6 months without thinking otherwise, and will come back home without any much problem. But if you are married and you are there for 6 months, you'll be more worried about your wife and possibly about your children, how to take care of them, so many other things. So for me, whether you are married or married is insignificant. You can decide not to marry even at the age of 60, 70.
Yeah, I bet a few of them who are not married.
The way people are just talking is like, if you are not married, it's like you are contacted major disease that you are not expected to be close to those who are married. It should be shifted out of the society or be quarantined somewhere.
Wow.
Which is not for me, it's not the best way of looking at it. So marriage, you can decide not to and be involved in the society. You can be relevant in so many ways and so many things. If like in a religious affair where it is explicitly written that if you are not married, you cannot be a pastor, whereby if you are posted somewhere as a single person, you might be tempted into something not meaningful. So if you are married, you are more protected as a married person. Except for that. Any other thing, if you are not married, if you are married, you are as good as any other person. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You're as good as any other person. Once again, it's not about how good or bad, but once again, it's how they are being treated. How they are being treated. All right, JJ has a message here. It says, Happy New Year to you. Some time ago, my uncle placed an advert for a manager in his company. A young guy who is so smart and I loved his presentation, but was not married, while the other one is married, but not comfortable with his presentation. After everything, my uncle asked me, which one of them do I prefer? I told him the young guy is good and better than the other one. Dude, do you know what my uncle said? He said he prefers the married guy because he has settled down, while the other one will want to steal and get married because he's under pressure. Well, maybe he has had experiences like that. Maybe, I don't know. But you see, once again, that's another way somebody who's single or married has been unfairly treated. All right, now I work in media and I have never missed out on anything that's mine because I don't have a wedding band on. In fact, before I returned to Nigeria, I changed my title to Miss, and I didn't change it when I got married. It's only when a client overheard me on the phone to my husband that they realized that I'm married. So I was already high by that point. Many of the people I went to university with got married in their 20s, and it didn't make me feel bad. In fact, when I was unmarried, I had a ring from Primark that actually looked like an engagement ring that I used to wear to places I didn't want to be bothered by any man. If you're single, focus on yourself. Build yourself. Even if you want to get married someday, if you give off desperate energy, you will end up with the wrong man or wrong woman. All right. This way I say, hi, Joe. Good morning. A lot of people will not want to admit this, but being single in this country is very difficult. It is very often the single men who are tagged the Yahoo boys or the Ron Scale. It's very often the single persons who are tagged as criminals, criminal elements, and the vagrants in society. Yet, it is still the same single men that the politicians want to use during their election. Who are we deceiving in this country? If we don't give equal respect, we would never get respect of those who are younger or older than us. Let everybody breathe. All right, Frank. Frank says, let everybody breathe. But he makes a good point. Who is more likely to be tagged the Yahoo guy, the internet fraudster? The person who is single. But I know from my experience in Benin that a lot of those, in quotes, internet fraudsters were married. They had children. Some of them will build houses. Some of them will bring cars home. But, nobody gets to see them as, this guy married. No, nobody. And it's very unfair. 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt. Hello? Oh dear. Apologies. Drop call scenario there. 017 923 0002 0817 923 0007. Facebook and X at Nigeria Info PH at Nigeria Info PH. We're talking about the holiday blues. When you are sad and alone and then you are now single, it now makes things more difficult. People find themselves feeling more pressured during holidays. Now, Christmas and New Year just passed. Very soon we'll get to Easter, and after that, we'll get to Valentine's Day, and after that we'll get to Easter. Then you're going to get another round of, oh God, when? The holidays, particularly these holidays, should be the period where people, spend time together, build, cement, seal up those cracks in your relationship. However, these single people apparently feel pressured all the more during this period. So, as a people, as a society, do you really think that we are being, upstanding, top notch with the way we respond, treat, engage the young people? 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Hello, Mr. Jude.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you, please.
Happy New Year to you.
Welcome, please.
Yes, sir. I want to contribute about the program you people are on right now.
Please join us.
Actually, it is a shock to me to hear you. So, where do they want to place us, we that are not yet married? Are they giving us hope, or do they want to take us to another place that
another country
to have to stay there? It's of the truth, if we follow and we look at what is happening in Nigeria today, most of the marriages are people business. I'm telling you, it's not even giving me any courage to do so. But I will not actually depend on that. I hold on to God. Because the point is that if you really meet the right person, you understand, you flow together and you live life together. It's not that because you see other people are doing it and you go ahead and jump into it, you will regret it for the rest of your life. I saw one of my friends, that person nearly died. And since then, I was just contemplating it. It's not encouraging, actually. But that does not mean that because the other person is not married, that person has no right. Some of them, they are very, very good people, and they have a very pure heart. But they shouldn't be treated.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. That calls, and then I'm guessing it's from her end, not my end or our end. Now, Clement says, just a married man, right? Just as a married man in the Thai corner asking a single girl or man for 1 million naira, and it comes with the excuse of my child's school fees and house rent. And the single said, because you are a married man, he or she will not give him. Say, make we don't use our hand, cause problem for ourselves. Oh. All right, good morning, Jude. This is on WhatsApp as well. It says that the social orientations that segregate or delienates people according to certain social qualifications, to me, is antisocial. In families, churches, communities, it is prevalent. Rites of passage is more cultural than social. Okoroma Godwin Chooks from Erema community. He makes a lot of sense. All right, rites of passages are more cultural, like I said. Rights, to come to this place, to do this thing, to join this group and join this group. But this idea, this orientation that segregates and very often delienates is harmful. Not everybody's going to be born at the same time, marry at the same time, or at the, in quotes, scheduled or suggested period. Life really doesn't happen that way. We'll wrap up now. And it seems to me that a good number of you are not particularly pleased with the way society is treating the single people. The holiday blues is real. People are scared of going home. People don't want their uncles and aunties to ask them, how far now? Where no? Or like that Nollywood excerpt I played for you from that home video. If you don't marry in 1 month, we will banish you from this community. Well, I really hope it doesn't get to that point. But yes, if you are married and you're listening, you should know that sometimes your actions may be putting unfair pressure on the young people, the unmarried people around you. Final message. So Jude, good morning, happy new year. I'm single and enjoy my singlehood. At the same time, I'm waiting patiently for a woman of my class. No one can pressure me for marriage. I will do it on my own convenient time. Over 10 or so-called married people who cannot fend for their families have been disturbing me for financial help. Just a few cups of rice. Not to talk about other monthly basis, especially this festive season. All right. Well, keep doing the good work, all right? And everybody stay well.